We're hearing from a Texas death row inmate connected to a local murder. Rodney Reed is scheduled for execution in just 3 weeks.
He was convicted of the rape and murder of Stacy Stites in Bastrop back in 1996. And this week, Reed spoke with MSNBC's Chris Hayes in an interview that will air next month. KXAN's Angie Bevan spoke with Reed's attorney, who says he has new evidence in this case.
I don't use that word loosely, friends, you know what I'm saying? Friendship.
Rodney Reed sits in prison in Livingston, Texas. Thursday, he talked about living on death row for nearly 2 decades.
I have guys that I associate with because when you go as far as making a friend, I mean, there's feelings there that if you know what a true friend is, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then next thing you know the state's going to take him. It's more likely that the friend the state's going to kill him.
Despite failed appeal after appeal, Reed's attorney believes he can now set his client free.
It's supported by evidence that establishes that Mr. Reed is innocent.
Andrew McCrae says the state's timeline doesn't work. Prosecutors said Stacy Stites was killed at 3 in the morning, but 3 forensic scientists for the defense say she died the night before. McCrae says Stites was with her fiancé, Jimmy Fennell, at the time, so Reed could not be the killer.
What the state is trying to do here, in our view, is rush the execution date before we can get to the evidence that establishes Mr. Reed's innocence,
hoping to keep his client alive.
McCrae says Stites and Reed were in an affair for months, which explains why his DNA was found, but they want more evidence tested. Jimmy Fennell is now in prison for a sexual assault he committed as a Georgetown police officer. We reached out to an attorney who's represented Fennell in the past about the new appeal coming from Reed's attorney. He told us, quote, "More than a dozen courts have turned down every Rodney Reed appeal, and I'll be shocked if new time of death evidence persuades anybody." He continued to say Reed made up the story of an affair after investigators found his DNA on Stites' body. In the studio, Angie Bevan, KXAN News.